Rule number one.
What's that?
I'm number one.
Welcome back to...
We're live?
Yeah, we say that every time.
I know, it's so fun.
Yeah.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I didn't even get to get a cup of Joe this
my cup of
morning,
coffee.
and it's kind of...
Have Steve get it for you.
I like that.
Steve, would you get
Steve,
mad at
can I
a
have
cup of
coffee? Yeah,
Oh.
well,
Why don't you go get with it?
I guess
Get
3
it.
episodes.
And I'll run with it.
After 3 episodes, you can get a cup of coffee. Excuse me. Be right back.
I'll take it from here.
Thanks so much.
I think this is episode 3. We get about 1 million views and listeners per show, so we're crushing it nowadays. PJ, how are we feeling today? Good?
Feeling well, thanks.
You're not turned up yet. Let's try it again. I love the transparency of the show, by the way. Go for it. Hey, how's it going?
Hello, world.
Perfect. Excellent. Yeah, here we are on a Thursday. We're going to try and do this every day. I don't think that Matt's going to be in tomorrow.
Friday, no.
Maybe we'll have a little guest host.
Oh, my.
Yeah. Maybe I'll see if Chris Landers wants to jump in and do a little something.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
What
do you even know who that is?
No.
Okay, cool.
What do you think about Keurig?
Keurig, get me right after it. Huh? I'm not a fan at all.
Neither am I.
I wrote an article about 2 years ago about it,
Yeah.
about why I divorced my Keurig. Couple things. For me, like I could never get, like it was a consistent cup of coffee. Like it literally was like a 5 out of 10 every single time. Never a 4, never a 6.
No.
It was a 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
And the thing for me was, other than that, like convenience factor, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Except when you would run out of it.
Yeah.
Because let's say you have a bag of beans, it's fine, but like
Yeah.
when you need to go get a Keurig pod. The other thing is the actual, when you throw those pods away,
Yeah.
what do you do with them? I mean, it sucks because you just
What do you
literally
mean, what do you do with them?
You throw them away. And so it's very wasteful.
Yeah,
Really is.
it's definitely wasteful. I was on the Keurig for a long time. Once you get coffee from a ground bean,
Oh, yeah.
it's like it's nothing. It doesn't even compare. If you ask me, thank you for coming down to my level.
Yeah,
Appreciate that. I was like, why is he so tall today?
Just do it like this.
Q&A.
Yeah. No, Keurig. No, it's a good topic. I actually see. We don't have to. We can be polarizing on just like non.
That's way more fun for me.
political things.
Sorry about everything, folks.
So no, I went from a Keurig to a Breville espresso machine,
Yeah.
in which I learned how to grind the beans and get the perfect grind, do the tamping, and then do the espresso, pulling the espresso. They call it pulling, not taking the espresso shot. You have to pull the espresso shot.
Is it because you literally are pulling?
I have no clue.
Okay.
I think it's actually because, nope, it's not because it pulls it out. It's because
No.
whatever. But anyways, it's very good. So my coffee of choice is Americano.
Same here, iced.
You do
Preferably
yours iced.
Yeah.
Oh, even in the winter?
Well, we live in
cold
Florida,
Florida
so it
days.
gets down to like 72 at nighttime. So
So it's still an iced Americano.
It's iced
At home,
always.
do you do coffee cubes or do you do ice cubes?
right now, I had a Keurig for a long time. We still have it. I don't use it anymore. It was a gift. It was a very nice gift, and I used it for about a year. But I got sick and tired of going to the store and just buying these.
Yeah.
It's this bulky box, and you get about 8 cups of coffee or whatever it is, and it was just.
So what do you have now?
So now, I don't produce any coffee at home.
You don't have any coffee?
No, I am.
Are you gonna
like
get that
many
machine that I
Americans,
told you to
keeping
get?
Starbucks in business.
There's a Starbucks right by your house.
There is. It's a drive-through too, so I don't even have to get out of the car, which is good for my laziness factor. But no, I'm actually looking into getting that Breville, and there's a Gaggia that I have my eye on as well. But the thing is, it's so expensive.
It is expensive.
But
and
you know, at the end of the day,
coffee's important.
coffee's important.
Yeah.
And if you actually, I wouldn't want to tally up how much money I spent at Starbucks last month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think after 2-3 months, it pays for itself. So that's where I'm at on that.
The reason why I'll do I have nothing against Starbucks. However, my father owns a coffee shop with some organic coffee that we had yesterday.
Can I tell you those?
You tell me.
The iced cubes
Yeah.
are unbelievable.
Because you had the cold brew with nitrogen, right, Steve?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's what you get. Yeah.
I'm not sure if there's really nitrogen or what.
He has a little gimmick.
It works.
He
It
could be-
works.
yeah.
I was impressed. I bought.
Yeah, and it was good.
And it was amazing. It was actually better than the Starbucks coffee I get.
I love kind of being in a family of a coffee owner shop or coffee shop type of thing. It's we probably go 5 or 6 times a week. I drink my coffee at home, but again, trying to, boost his economy and keep him in business.
Support your local businesses,
Yeah,
folks.
Steven's a big patron of the Papaquan's coffee shop. He goes and gets the egg taco, or basically whatever. He's kind of the guinea pig, and you don't hold back what you think is good and bad there. So they appreciate that. But right now, I don't have the Keurig. I didn't throw it away. I donated it, I believe, or I gave it to somebody. But now I have, it's the Melee, M-I-E-L-E. I think I pronounced it Melee. Super automatic espresso machine.
But can you grind coffee if you wanted a full cup of coffee, or?
Yeah, so it goes off the lines of basically the espresso model. So you can do what's called a ristretto, which is like a regular. You're Italian, you would know this maybe. I don't know. Ristretto is just like your typical cappuccino, not your typical espresso shot.
Yeah.
Or a lungo
is a double.
Yeah, which is essentially a double. And so I just run that long, which is a coffee for me.
And you just grind whatever beans you want.
Yeah, and so I can put the beans in the hopper and grinds whatever I want.
Which, by the way, are we still selling alternative daily coffee?
Oh, absolutely. You want to give a bag away today? We'll give 5 bags away today.
10. Where can folks get alternative daily coffee? Can we get it online, or is it?
Yeah, I think it's actually at thealternativedaily.com. Is there?
I don't know. I haven't seen it
Search
in a
coffee
while.
on there, and
Yeah.
We'll put a link below.
Yeah,
link below.
Let's do it.
And we'll give away some free bags of coffee.
I'm very impressed. That coffee is, honestly, the coffee is incredible.
It's actually Lucy's Brew is the name of it, named after my dog,
Yes.
Lucy. It's an
Yes,
actual
yes,
dog.
yes.
Yeah,
And the dog surfs as well.
So speaking of that, that's why I was actually late today.
What were you doing? You were surfing?
I was. And
How are the waves out there?
you
with Maria?
might notice, so I just bought a brand new, what do you think I'm going to say? Apple Watch Series 3.
I was going to say
which you can talk
iPhone 27.
which you can talk and text while you're out there in the water, kook style. Don't do that. But
You can get the watch wet. It's complete. You can submerge it completely. In it.
Yes, but it's completely submerged right now because do you see my wrist?
So why do you do these things?
It's gone. I lost it today. I just got this last Friday. Yeah.
Did you wipe out? Or did you actually ride the wave?
So no, this is a really good thing. I'll tell the whole story of the wave because it's actually worth it. It was a $700 wave is what this thing was. And you might also notice that I have a green wedding band on.
It was purple yesterday.
Yeah, it was pink.
You had a rough morning.
So this is a 5th wedding band I've lost. So anyways, I was out there. Chris Landers was out there. You don't like Chris Landers?
He bashed my breakfast tacos the one night.
Oh, I'll have to talk to him about that. But he was out there. And so anyways, I went to go take off on a wave. It was a left because I'm goofy foot, right foot forward. And took off on the wave. It was one of those, it's like a suicide mission. You knew that this thing is not going to end well. And as I tucked in, I kind of thought, I'm going to get hit in the face. And then all of a sudden, it opens up into what everybody knows or you hear, the perfect barrel, the perfect tube. And so it was like, I dropped in, turned, looked up, I was like, oh my God. And for what seemed like 2 to 3 seconds, it was probably a half a second, everything opened up and it was this perfect, you're in, I can't explain it. It's just an amazing feeling being in this tube, in this barrel. And then it's just completely eats you.
Oh man.
And then by the time I get back out to the lineup, I'm kind of going, I'm like, something feels off. And I'm like, oh God.
So were there a bunch of guys out there today?
Yeah. So I like to go, I like to go to the pier. And there was
Where most of the sharks hang out?
People fish there, and there are people pulling up fish right by you.
But you're a braver man than I am, Mr. Carney.
There was a lot of people out. We've had a lot of swell since Maria, but it's been a lot of fun. And I'm actually doing one of my favorite things in the entire world is after I go surf, I actually like to enjoy a nice cup of coffee. Are you drinking coffee out of a plastic
wonderful.
cup?
Yeah, there was nothing else up there.
Are you serious?
I know.
Well, there's just metal cups up there.
No, there's not.
The white or blue ones aren't over there?
No. I know.
Yeah, I think there are.
No, there's not.
No.
I know. I almost put it in.
It's probably melting.
I almost put it in a solo cup.
Oh.
I've done it before. So craziness, Mr. Hugh Hefner. Sad day.
You just found out about that.
I know. It's really
Happened
sad.
last night.
I know.
Now,
I was getting my beauty rest last night.
Did you look? There he goes.
Oh my God! Thank you so much. So you did end up getting me coffee.
There is
didn't
no
you?
metal. There is none over there.
Appreciate you.
Uh,
So yeah, really sad, man. Really sad. What a great guy.
What was great about him?
What was great about him? Oh my God! I mean, what he did.
I actually like it just more from
What he created.
just kind of going against the status quo and just building something that is so at that time that is so kind of like underneath the covers and just like oh my god, and just kind of bring this out and say this is what I'm going to do. We're gonna
I mean, in a time where it was completely unacceptable to do what he was doing, he said I'm going to do it. I mean. So it's pretty impressive. I mean, I think he started with an $8,000 loan back in 1953 or something like that.
It's amazing. So somebody give you
Guy lived the life.
Probably, let's say $8,000. Inflation now is probably
53. I don't know. What could that be? 50,000.
Between 50 and 100, right?
Yeah, right.
Do you think? What is your first idea? Let me start a porn site.
Yes. Especially in Beverly Hills, right?
There's a lot of money to be made in that industry.
Oh my God, there is.
But now, do you have the typical story of you're finding your dad's Playboys or your dad giving you a Playboys and a pack of cigarettes? They have at it,
No. I do remember, like going to the mall and then going to like a
at
little,
the mall. They have them at the mall.
Yeah, like back in the day, like going to a shop that sold cigarettes and Lotto and things like that. And then you see some magazines because we were into whatever it was, Sports Illustrated or the swimsuit edition was huge. But then you'd see like the little cover up back then. You're like, what is that? What is that? And
but they always
it
had
piqued the
like
curiosity.
It had like a plastic cover over it with like a red band.
Yeah, it was just
anything. But then recently, I think they're technically still in business, but for a while there, they went without nudity, which
the articles are great.
I actually was really never super into it. Like always appreciated it, but never like I never bought one. But like I was never like, oh, let me go see your dad's magazines type of thing.
No, I never really was snooping around looking for stuff like that. But I do remember when I got my first one, put it right under the mattress. The cliche place to put it, real safe when Mom was changing the sheets. But she was nice; she left it alone. So.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, he was how old?
He was 91.
91.
It's good, clean living.
That's a long life.
It really is. It's incredible. He probably wasn't stressed out very much.
Yeah, he probably wasn't. I wonder when the last time he had sex was though.
I think about that all the time. No, I mean
100% yesterday. No. What?
I think he's like an everyday.
Yeah, I don't think
He was 91.
Did
Did you find anything out on that, PJ?
I can chat to some research.
Just a nasty rumor he created ED pills. So
Really?
Yeah, I heard that rumor.
no, I'm kidding. But I wouldn't be surprised
See if he was sexually active.
a full stash.
I mean, if you're sexually active at 90,
God bless you.
I'm just gonna say the exact same
God
thing.
bless you. I'd be like, "Where's my grilled cheese? Where's my tomato soup? I'm very tired. Let me just hang out in this house and relax."
Starting your day
So-
with a Bloody Mary and a porterhouse.
Exactly.
That's what I would do.
Perfect. I know a guy that does that. His name's Ralph.
Oh man.
So the waves. What were the waves? 6 feet? 6
Yeah,
footers?
6 feet. Because literally, I stood up in this barrel and it was amazing. I didn't make it out, so it wasn't the perfect barrel, but it was amazing. Lost my way.
Are you worried about
Sharks?
I don't want to sound like a mom
No,
here,
that's
but
fine.
like, are you sharks number one? That's
So
why
last
I'm not in.
So last week,
But are you worried about being out there by yourself and catching a wave? And
it's a good question. I don't go out like I actually do. So sometimes if it's super big, like I won't go out by myself.
Yeah.
But if it's probably like waist to chest high or whatever,
Right.
and it's one of these like beautiful days, water super clear, I'll go by myself all day long because that way you can see everything, right?
that makes you feel better.
Yeah. But like today, it was like 6 feet. So it's head high, and the water since the hurricane has passed is really murky. So I typically look. I went to my normal spot.
Yeah,
it
that's
looked
no
good, but I was like, I'm gonna go closer to the pier where everybody's at. Last week when I went out, saw 2 sharks. There's a lot of fish in the water now, especially it's really good fishing out there now. A lot of fish in the water. I didn't see any sharks today. Saw.
How often do you see sharks when you go out there?
I would say probably, and this is
And are we
different.
talking little babies, or are we talking full-on
Well,
bull sharks?
I would say you probably see them 30% of the time.
Where's my plastic cup?
Jeez. But they're out there. There was one time, there was a couple years ago, early morning at the pier, like one of these like beautiful days where it was just like low, like offshore wind, light breezes, water was crystal clear. It caught a bunch of waves, and I remember just looking down, just being like, oh my God, I can see the bottom. It's like 10 feet. This is beautiful. And I remember looking to my right and then looking to my left and being like, oh my God, that's a 6-foot shark by my leg. And so the thing is, like, you don't panic, right? So it's kind of
You
like
don't?
No, like you think you would be like, oh my god, but you don't do that. You
You're
literally
probably more in shock. Your
like
body's just
time
like, oh my God.
freezes because you're like,
Yeah.
oh. But it occurred to me he was right by my leg. It was crystal clear. He didn't want to bite my leg or her, right? And so I did call it a day after that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, you see them. They're out there. And I also get nervous of like getting hit in the head and going unconscious underwater.
Well, so I didn't want to say it, but that's what I mean. Like going out there by yourself, there's just so many variables. But
I mean, obviously there's a risk factor in everything you do. But especially with kids now, like it does cross my mind, like shit, like if I turn into a vegetable, it's going to really suck for them.
just up the life insurance for Gina.
Right. But like either like getting paralyzed or bent backwards, it's a risk you take. And it's, Jake Carney is only one man.
He's the legend. He's the myth. He is one man, though.
Oh man.
So,
what else do you got for me?
I want to. So,
have you been liking this? Do you like this?
I'm getting more comfortable.
You are.
I'm getting more comfortable with talking.
Yeah.
Like I said, you're like a little mini Howard Stern. I just feel so comfortable.
Mini.
I just, he asked me about politics. I just go ahead and diarrhea of the mouth.
We'll get into religion and God and some.
I won't do it, folks. I won't do it. So no, but I noticed that with all the tensions,
a lot of notes you have.
Yeah,
and I
just
have right
there's
now.
one. With all the tension between U.S. and Russia, we are teaming up.
Let's go right into U.S. and Russia. Good segue.
We are teaming up with those guys to build an international space station, a new one.
I did not know that. Fill me in.
So basically, we're teaming up with Russia to. I think the project doesn't start till the mid 2020s, but to put together an international space station, a new age one where it can be kind of like a launching pad.
What is an international space station?
It's a country club in the sky, is what it is. No, but it's a. I guess it's a port. It's a dock where multiple countries can come.
It's not like on the moon or anything, right?
It
It's
rotates,
an orbit.
It's an orbit, yeah.
Got it.
And
how big is it?
Oh man, it's the size of 2 football fields.
Is it really?
I have no idea, quite frankly. But they have foosball and shuffleboard up there. So
do they really?
It's not that bad. No, I have no idea. So yeah, I think it's interesting how we have all these issues with Putin and Russia and all the tensions between us, but we are teaming up and going beyond that to hopefully have a common goal to put somebody on the Mars, put somebody on back on the moon, and do these things.
I think.
So, what do you think about that?
Yeah, sure. And actually, I was a big Obama fan. I've said that multiple times, right? Yeah. But the one thing I didn't love was he didn't completely defund NASA, but we took away a lot of funds from NASA, and I get it.
How many times can you go to the
budget,
moon,
taxes,
right? Yeah.
But I think from an overall, and I like to look at things from a very universal perspective, I think we should be going out there and looking at stuff like that,
Absolutely.
And I think it also gives us perspective. I mean, you'll see all the astronauts who always say when they go to this outer space and they look on the Earth, they're like, why do we have so many problems? Like, look how massive and expansive this is, and we're all assholes down here, right?
Would you go to outer space? If you had the opportunity. If you had unlimited amount of money and Branson's like, hey, man.
Could you guarantee me that I don't explode?
Nope.
Oh.
I know. That's my deal, too.
I mean, those things explode pretty regularly.
Yeah.
That's the risk.
But there's going to be people that are going to line up and pay $1 million to go to space. I mean, they're going to go up, they're going to come down, then they're going to go to like Chick-fil-A on the way home. It's going to be amazing, but
not yet. I mean, maybe in my next life I'll do it. But the thing that kind of like skeeves me out is that I love what Elon Musk is doing. We only have him for a couple more years, right, Steven? Because he is going to Mars, one-way trip and not coming back. Would you sign up for a one-way trip?
Nope.
Even if they said we'll give you
the return, if you get a round trip, it's much cheaper.
Let's just say we'll give you and your family $1 billion.
$1 billion?
Yeah.
Billion?
Yeah.
Okay, so where am I going? I'm going to Mars?
Yeah, and you are not coming back.
Is there anything on Mars?
No, there's nothing there now.
Okay, so what am I going to do with $1 billion?
You give it to your family.
Okay, so I'm just basically going to go kill myself.
Taking one for the team.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
But you can you can live
Can
out.
I negotiate $500 million and stay?
You can live out your life, normal life. You can live till you're 100, whatever. We'll give you all the food that
Do
you
they
want.
have golf courses on Mars?
There is one. It's not bad.
It's not
Played
public?
It. Yeah.
Okay.
To answer your question, I don't think that I would go into outer space right now. I wouldn't. I love that people do, right? And I think that we should continue to explore it because there's so much out there to learn. If you think about everything in this universe and like take everything in this whole existence as 100%, which it's really kind of not because it's some argue it's infinite, some argue it's finite. Just so it's 100%. We only know we have a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a percent of what's going on, right? We all think we're smart down here with, we think that climate change is real. We think that climate change is a hoax. We think that this is good and this is bad. We really don't know shit in the grand scheme of things.
We really don't.
And it's funny. I was talking to somebody. He's actually he's a family. He's Gina's brother actually, and he's obviously a vocal proponent of.
Great SAT word.
Thank you. Of climate change and and trying to fight climate change. And so I was like, okay, I'm not going to argue with climate change and whether or not humans have a footprint on this earth. Like, are we causing it warmer, colder? Is it going to be ultimate destruction? Let's put that aside for now. But let's just say you're right. Let's just say you're right that we are all assholes and we're just going to completely warm this earth and it's going to suck. What effect does that have on the actual universe? And he was like, oh, the universe doesn't give a shit about us. It doesn't matter at all.
He's probably right.
Which is true. Which I'm not saying that we should completely destroy this planet, and that's not what I'm trying to get at. But it just goes to show you that the immense.
Maybe they're just way ahead of us. They're like, you know what? We're gonna ruin this great thing. So let's go see if we can start something on Mars.
And then
or the moon.
Steve and Brianna could maybe even chime in at some point on this. But then it's like, is this the only world that exists? Is this the only world that has existed?
Well,
and then what's crazy, I don't know if you've, and I'm just, now I'm just rambling now, but sometimes when they'll say like, oh, we witnessed like, a light flash from, sorry, it's my wife calling me. We witnessed a light flash or something, from a galaxy far away.
Right.
And when they see it, they're like, well, that's already like 1 billion years old now because of how far it came from.
Speed of light.
It's crazy.
Yeah. No, it is insane. It is insane.
But you are a super fan of aviation.
I love aviation, but before we go into that.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Go for it.
Do you think
that
we are alone in this universe?
No, not at all. But
God, I would love to find another life form somewhere. It would be so cool.
Well, there's
like seeing what they just did with they crashed that satellite or whatever through Saturn's rings. I think they did, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Did they?
They retired the satellite. They just basically right down. But some of the images it took before it crashed on Saturn, it was like, are you serious? This is real life. That fascinates me. Although I'd never go to space because I'm scared of roller coasters, and coming down through the atmospheric re-entry is where I lose you.
Oh,
yeah, I know.
Have you seen Armageddon? Bruce Willis. When they have to make a decision to stay on that
asteroid
to blow it up.
Can't believe he did it.
Oh, man.
It was so realistic.
Don't want to close my eyes.
No, don't want to fall asleep. So
I do think that there. I'd like to believe that there is other life form out there.
There has to be.
But I think it all has to come down to, and we've had multiple long discussions here in this office about that, which is. Is it men with heads and big eyes and little mouths and little noses? And Steve seems to think yes. I mean, if you're talking about microorganisms and bacteria,
you have like a brother on planet Shmushma.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, and that here's the other question. Is there another parallel world, parallel universe that actually has life form just like us existing?
So with that said, did you see Stranger Things, the Netflix special?
I don't watch TV.
So nostalgic for me.
What's
all
it about?
The 80s and about parallel universe, about how you live alongside a parallel universe. And,
sounds fun.
It was more nostalgia for me because I kind of lost a little bit of interest. But a lot of people loved it. It was the bee's knees, as they say.
Nostalgic, and then you lost a little bit of interest. What are you talking about?
Well, it was it was 10 episodes for the season. And, the first few episodes were incredibly riveting. And then you kind of just, as the parallel universe plays out in the show, I don't know, it becomes a little bit more unrealistic, and you go, I don't know. Now it's a little bit too much, but I love the intro. I love the lights. It's very 80s, super cool, and
Did you ever watch the movie Fire in the Sky?
No, I did not. Who's in that?
Nobody famous, but it came out like in the early to mid 90s, and it was supposedly based on a true story of people getting abducted, and I just remember part of the video was the one guy holding his eye, the aliens were holding his eye opening and dripping in milky substances and needles in his eye. I don't know.
You lost me after Alien.
I've never seen one. Would you want to see one?
Alien.
If I said, do you want to see one? And if you say yes, I'll show you one.
Okay.
If no, you never see one.
I would like to see one.
Would you be scared shitless?
100%. 100%. I would be.
Have you been in this office after 9 o'clock?
They
live in here. Sorry,
yeah,
Patricia.
Yeah. No, but there's a couple things down that hallway that I wouldn't like to see alone. Let's put it that way.
Have you seen anything paranormal at all ever?
No. So my wife is very, very into that and
Oh, she
ghosts
is?
and things and ghost tours. We
Really?
went to Savannah last year for her birthday.
Oh, ghost tours. That was
The
really-
hearse tours, No, but
With top
she's very
hats.
much into that stuff. And for me, I choose just not to believe it or not to want to believe it because it would scare the crap out of me.
I remember being little.
What
and
about you? Do you believe in
My
that?
parents would make me take the dogs out at night or whatever. Like it's
So scary.
8 or 9 o'clock at night. I would be so
scary.
so scared to take them out.
scary.
I literally take them out and like would just run back in.
Yeah.
And then they'd be like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm scared of aliens." And they're like, "It's Tuesday. They're
It's
not coming.
It's Tuesday in Palm Beach.
They're not coming. They're not coming."
That's too funny.
But you are a fan of aviation.
I love aviation.
I just found this out about you.
Yeah, aviation gets worse and worse, day after day, month after
Does it
month.
really?
Just the whole thing. What nobody dresses up to go to the airport anymore. You know what I mean? I have to fly on an airplane and see this guy's feet, his toes out, his sandals. What happened? What happened to us?
That's not aviation. That's just the clothing attire to fly.
It's aviation. It's the whole thing. Back in the day, the beautiful food, smoking cigarettes. Not that I condone smoking cigarettes, but it was the mystique. When I watched the movie Airplane, what a great movie! All three of them. I think there's three
Is
of
that
them.
with Leslie Nielsen?
Oh yeah. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
OJ too. That was Naked Gun.
Naked Gun.
Sorry. Anyways.
Yeah. Anyway, we got sidetracked.
But do you like to fly? Like we have to go places for work. Do you enjoy flying? I enjoy the Bloody Mary. And if we get points, we do first class, and I enjoy getting a beverage in the first class.
Oh, of course. No, I used to travel an awfully lot, 2-3 times a month, and I did enjoy it. I enjoyed going to different parts of the world, different parts of the country, and seeing different places and different things.
No, my question is, did you enjoy the actual flying? Like, do you enjoy okay, let me go to the airport?
I loved it.
You did.
I loved it, but you know what?
What?
Towards the end, I
Yeah.
hated it. Because it was it just became too much. You know what actually upset me?
What upset you?
You see what you do? You get me just going, and I don't like it. Is when you travel for business, time is everything. It's like, I don't want to be here right now. I want to get on this airplane. I want to go home.
Yep.
So every 20-minute delay seemed like it was 2 hours, and I
Yeah.
found myself getting worked up and upset. I'm like, you can't control this. You need to relax. The old serenity prayer, right? So that bothered me. And then I'd look over there and I'd see a nice little family going on vacation. I'm like, look how happy they're going on vacation. I'm like, this is my 4th flight this week and I can't take it anymore.
When I was flying for work, I really enjoyed it because
Did you?
any travel time would take at least 2 to 3 hours, right?
Yeah, and it was like a decompression thing.
Decompression,
for you.
but then it was like, oh, well, I don't have to, that's 2 to 3 hours I don't have to work. And so now I only have to work like 5 or 6 more hours. Great. It sucked up most of my day.
Yeah.
My-
That's
and-
a very corporate way to think.
And I think that you had a similar thing. The one company I was working for was based out of New York. I would just do day flights. I would leave at like 6 in the morning, get
Up
there
and
at
back.
9, and then back by 9.
Yeah.
We actually had, this is my favorite, one of my favorite flying trips was, it was during December, and they wanted me to come up for their company holiday party to go bowling. And so got my
You're a good bowler?
crush it.
Really?
Hundreds all the time.
Really? Impressive.
Hundreds are not good. It's 300.
I know.
So it's good. Okay. But anyways, I literally did a day trip up to New York. I flew up there, bowled, and got right back on the plane and came back.
I mean, towards the end, I would just try to get out of there as soon as I possibly could.
Yeah,
Any extra night in a hotel was just another night that I wasn't home in my bed. And I know that sounds horrible, but it's
I get
actually
it.
kind of turned over to my vacations now.
Yeah.
If I get bored and I have another day, I'm like, you know what? Let's go home a day early.
Yeah.
My wife.
And
hates
I
that.
think it's a big thing. Dr. Josh, we might have him here. He's going to be here next weekend.
Mr. Levitt?
Yeah, we talk about this, which is it's trying to actually not trying. It's actually enjoying the place that you live because when you go, you're like excited to come back.
Exactly. Exactly.
I love where we live. I love this area.
There's nothing better than flying in over that coastline, right?
Oh my!
Especially when we come back from New York, and I can say that because I'm from New York.
Oh my God!
Just getting out of those.
There's
buildings
nothing more
and those
depressing
cities.
than flying into New York City.
Oh my God, because it's nothing green. It's just the most ugly buildings you've ever seen in your life. But there is also no place in the world like New York.
That's correct.
You can't do anything.
Yeah.
anywhere
Amazing
else
food.
like you can.
I love it.
Food, entertainment, whatever you want.
Yeah, bowling. Right there.
And bowling.
In Times Square.
In Times Square. Oh, that must have been nice and quiet, huh?
I forget. It's like you're literally
Did you
going
guys go
into
to the TGI Fridays right after?
Here's a funny story. Back where we used to work, I had to fly up to New York for
Your
something.
office was in Midtown, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But way before that, I was going to my first time to New York. It was a day trip. It was the first time to New York. It was with this guy named Jed.
I know Jed.
Yeah, and we flew in. My very first. I've never been to New York, and I was so excited. I was like, "Oh, this would be great in New York." And we landed, and he's like, "What do you want to do?" And I'm like, "Listen, I know it's cliche, but I really want to get a New York pizza."
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he was like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I just really want to get a New York pizza." He's like, "Okay, well, let's go check into the hotel," because he was staying in a hotel.
Right.
Check in the hotel. We're kind of just messing around talking, and then he's like, "All right, let's go get lunch." And I'm like, "Yes." And he's like, we don't have any time before the they're planking right now. We really don't.
We do 1 minute,
1 minute
of exercise.
And he's like, we really have time to
Really overachieve.
I know. We really don't have time to find a New York pizza. He's like, let's go there. And I look across the street, and it was the goddamn ESPN zone right there in Times Square. Had fucking chicken nuggets and French fries. And this is obviously before I got healthy. And like sat in like those big plush like lazy boys. And I'm not even that big into sports, like watching pool.
Yeah.
Right. And
yeah.
I'm like,
because somebody somewhere is gambling on that, and their mortgage is depending on that. If that guy makes that nine ball in the corner
and
pocket.
I was like, why am I here? Like, I just really want New York pizza. This is awful.
So we don't call it New York pizza. We call it pizza because anything other than New York pizza is not pizza.
Have you found a good place down here for pizza?
There is a couple places. One locally is called the Grotto. Phenomenal. It's all about and Anthony's Coal Fire. All about the wood-fired pizza. Is
Do you like the wood fire?
I love it because it's traditional. It's real. It's good. But the water down here, you can't make good pizza. You can't make good pizza. Water down in Florida, no good, folks. Drink it, don't touch it.
What is? Brooklyn.
Well, where do they get that water from, Brianna?
Supposedly.
Brooklyn.
But they filter it. So it's not really like Brooklyn water, because Brooklyn water is filled with like dead bodies and
Yeah,
Is
but
really
that's
the
what
water
but see,
that
the
good
dead
there?
bodies is what adds the flavor to your everything bagel. Exactly.
Is there really anything good? Like, is the water really that good? Like tap water there?
You can drink it right out of the tap. I don't.
But like,
More
does it really
recently?
taste good?
Yeah, it tastes phenomenal. I'm not even kidding. It tastes phenomenal.
I
I never realized that you had to drink water out of water bottles. That wasn't a thing in New York. You know what I mean? You didn't drink water bottles. You just went to the tap and you poured yourself a glass of water. You went to sleep. See
You know what's
tomorrow.
really good is the water like in the mountains. Like you go to Utah or Colorado, or we were just up in like Georgia.
So
it was like
untouched.
it's cold. It's like
It's like natural spring water.
Well, the funny thing is you turn on the tap water here and it's like it's like 80 degrees. It's like drinking
You
amniotic
can't
fluid.
take
It's
cold
like,
showers down here.
No, you can't.
You can't.
Cannot.
It's crazy. It's crazy, but
PJ, is there anything happening that we should be aware about? Talk about right now. Throw me something. Throw me a bone. Look,
give me something good, man.
here you go. Pick it up. Pick it up. What's big?
Well, what about this Southwest incident? Do you have any thoughts on this Southwest incident?
Southwest.
Tell me about it.
I think that the airlines are just becoming ridiculous.
Tell us what happened.
Well,
Okay, so what happened? Southwest brought a woman. They basically forced her off the plane after she said that she had a life-threatening dog allergy,
Right.
which she could have. So I'm not going to take
Was
that away
there
from
was
her.
there a dog on the plane?
yeah,
Yeah.
so there was two of them,
Okay.
I believe, but
Keep going.
So they were in rows that were close to where she was sitting,
Right.
and they had proper paperwork to have dogs.
right.
She unfortunately didn't have paperwork.
So she should leave, right?
Yes, that's what they were saying. Now, I want to pose a question, though. You have a life-threatening allergy. You have to walk around with paperwork now? You have to walk around with paperwork?
Well, you don't, but in that
I guess now you do because
But in that circumstance, it's because you're kind of like, oh, which one do we keep? I mean, if she doesn't have it,
I completely agree with
what's that?
One in the front, one in the
no life-threatening allergy. You know when you're on an airplane, they're like, is anybody allergic to peanuts? We have a peanut allergen, and we're
Do
not
they
going to
say
be
that?
serving those on the flight.
Oh, I don't know that.
Yeah, I fly too much. So But
I hope there's no such thing as a Bloody Mary.
I agree with Southwest
allergy.
with what they did. And the lady, unfortunately, I
Was she
think her
screaming
father
and
was
stuff?
having surgery the next day, and it was horrible that she was removed from the plane. But she tried to make a scene like anything else. But Southwest apologized. They did a great
But
job.
why would you make a scene? Why would you say like, yeah, I don't want to die? Oh, she was trying to get to her dad who was having.
Yes.
Do we believe her?
I don't know.
Should we believe her?
She says she's a professor, so they never lie, right?
She could have a lawsuit here,
She could. So,
Yeah.
you think she has a lawsuit?
potentially.
Okay, so here's the
Why
thing,
would
though.
we
Now, in this
sue?
day and age,
Wait, oh, here
you
go.
don't go. No. I'm not gonna. No pontification today, folks.
No, I want it.
You don't go on an airplane without seeing like 2 to 3 dogs. And by the way, they're not service dogs, folks. They filled out a piece of paper, sent it into JetBlue, and they're like, sure.
Nothing wrong with that. I
Put it
think
under the
dogs
seat.
should be allowed to
I don't
go.
think it's good for the dog.
In Florida, you just have to buy
No.
the tag.
I don't think it's good for the dog.
You don't think it's good for the dog?
I don't think so.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
I just don't know. But didn't that dog, they tried to transport the rabbit or the dog or whatever, and United had died in the cargo? It's just, I don't know. So my sister, she has an English bulldog, right? And they're adorable. I'm sorry, PJ, I cut you off. Tell
Yeah.
me more. Is there anything else?
Yeah.
No, I was listening to you, but
so,
no.
yeah, so she's got an English bulldog, right?
It's got an accent?
Can't, yes, yes. He's a briny boy. He can't breathe. She can't breathe, excuse me, sorry.
So
She
how
can't
does
breathe.
she...
You know,
Yeah.
that whole thing. And it's very hot here in Florida. So she goes out for a walk, she takes 10 steps, she lays down. That's the end of it. There was a bulldog that was on one of her flights a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And the dog was struggling to breathe underneath the seat because it was a cross-country flight, which, how do you put a dog on a flight for 5 hours? I don't know. Listen, I understand you want to have your pet with you and you want to have your animal with you.
Is there
but
is
it's-
there
I
a
don't know.
is there a
I don't
is
know
there
if
a
it's
weight
right.
limit that you can have for dogs and stuff? Like if you have a lab, can you bring it?
Where's it going to sit? In
What's
the
that?
cockpit?
A real registered service.
Yeah. No, can it like sit in the? Do you have to buy it a seat?
No, it could sit right there.
Oh, really? Yeah. We took Lucy a couple times. Lucy and
Did
Brody.
you?
Yeah, put them under the seat. Lucy just would freak out though. She actually chewed through the bag and like
I'm
got out.
claustrophobic. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. So
Um,
I don't know.
Oh, Benadryl knocked her out.
That's illegal.
No, that's what the vet said.
I like it though. Same with kids.
Anything else? Anything else we should be aware of, PJ? Anything breaking happening?
I hope Pete is not watching here, but let's see. Nothing really is breaking.
Peter's not watching.
Let's see.
You're looking good. I like
Peter.
your long sleeve shirt and shorts.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Not as formal today.
Here to party though.
Do you know PJ showed up for his interview? We talked about this. He showed up for his interview in a suit.
What other way is there to interview for a job? He stood out
Right.
among. You're a
Right.
man amongst men.
You
man
have to
amongst
go
men.
all out because it's always the worst.
So
to
if
figure out
men
the-
should wear a suit, should women wear
I
pants?
agree with
suit?
you 100%. You never want to be underdressed. Better to be
No,
overdressed
you
than
said
underdressed.
that. You said that.
I do. Thank you.
That car
You listened
salesman
to
that
me.
we
Thank you.
interviewed, he wore a tie.
He did. He wore a tie. If we were selling cars, we would have hired him.
Yeah.
So Kushner's a female.
I saw. I
What
saw
do you think
that.
about that?
I don't know.
How
if-
does this happen? What does this mean?
First of all, before we get into that, these are great. We got new. You're gonna hear like a little. These are like what do you call them? Windshields? Oh, sorry.
They're
Please,
microphone
please
condoms.
don't do that. They're amazing. The one that I had before was blue, and I don't know if you saw it. That had old hummus on it. Because my daughter,
That's,
she likes to do the podcast, and she would be eating hummus and just
Was it like roasted garlic hummus? Or?
Yeah.
Oof, manon.
yeah.
That smells.
So Kushner, I don't know. Was he? Do you know the story of that, PJ? Was he trying to troll people, or did he just do it just to like? Was it a mistake? I understand mistakes. Mistakes totally happen. We don't know. What I make of it? I don't.
How
make,
do you make a mistake like that?
It's easy to make a mistake. I know. But the guy's got a lot of money. Like it doesn't bother me.
No, it doesn't bother me. It's just more like, wow,
But
what are we doing here?
I guess there is
People
voter.
are saying that just filed this paperwork incorrectly. That's what they
Yeah.
Of course, they're going to say that.
Yeah. When he saw male and female, he checked female.
What benefit would you get though from going in as a female?
No, I don't. It's just more amusing to me than anything else. I don't think there's any benefit
Yeah.
one way or another.
Did you ever meet him?
No.
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 Did you meet Ivanka?
No, I did not.
Okay.
I did not.
Eric?
Just Don Jr.
Don Jr. How is Don Jr.?
He's amazing.
He is a
Incredible. I saw that he got rid of Secret Service last week, and he was up in where was he? Somewhere in Montana
Duffy's?
or Wyoming, doing some big game hunting, which is pretty cool.
Is it cool?
Oh boy,
Here we go. Big game hunting. Do you
listen.
no, that's-
Nobody likes to kill anything, right? But
I think people
you
do.
and I do you enjoy catching a mahi
So
or
now
a tuna?
I'm glad you brought this up
we're
because
fishing?
I don't.
Although I do hate to see.
Yeah,
it died.
that's my thing. Is like I don't like. I've been fishing with a lot of people, and PJ, you should pipe in on this too because PJ
Love to fish. I fish every weekend.
Exactly.
He
Okay.
crushes
Do
it.
you
So-
feel bad when you catch a fish? You bring it up.
If my golden rule, pretty much all fishermen would agree with this: if you kill it, you eat it.
You kill it. You
Always,
eat it.
yeah.
Absolutely. Never let it go to waste.
Yep.
Have
I
you
still
ever,
feel
Have
bad.
you ever thrown up food on your plate though because there's just so much? Yes.
Absolutely. I've definitely wasted it too.
Yeah.
I've
and
made
so
too many fish fingers.
For me, like mahi is a dolphin fish. We call it dolphin down here in Florida. That's like my
that's
favorite.
why I said mahi.
That's my favorite thing to catch because it's an absolute beautiful fish. Because I just like to see it.
It's
right?
gorgeous. But you got to take a picture. After like 2 minutes, it loses all of its
It
color.
It does. And so, and it tastes phenomenal. One of the best tasting fish.
Best tasting.
And they're beautiful, and they put up a good fight. But on the flip side, this fish is literally just cruising through the water and just gets pulled, right?
Right.
And so what we think is a fight is it literally just trying to pull away from that hook in its mouth. Like we say, oh, it had this nice jump. Oh, it had this. Oh, it had that. When really it's just trying to get that hook out of its mouth. And so all that stuff goes through my head. I ultimately don't love it. But when I do bring it in the boat, and I do take the hook out of it, again, I don't love doing it. I do eat it. So I am doing it to eat it. And I always kind of...
If you're not going to release it, you better eat it.
I don't say a prayer, but I do kind of have, you could say, I don't want to say a moment of silence, but I do have a little bit of like quiet time where I'm just like, thank you, I appreciate it, and like just put it in. It probably doesn't give a shit that I said thank you.
oh, he said thanks.
Like if somebody would have grabbed me something to eat you and rip your skin off, and
But he apologized, so we're cool.
yeah.
No, I hear you. I feel the same way. I think we all feel the same way about that. But I think that's the cardinal rule as a fisherman. If you catch a fish that's an edible fish and you're gonna make that conscious decision to keep it, you better eat it.
Have you ever had a massive shark take your bait?
Oh, totally.
Have you like on the surface where you see
Yes.
it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this happened this summer.
Do tell.
I was reeling up probably a 25-pound bonita, which is a species of tuna, for those that don't know, and got it right next to the boat. And these bull sharks, especially in South Florida, are so aggressive.
So aggressive.
It literally just ripped it right in half, right in front of my eyes. It was just unreal. It's cool to see, but it's kind of just like...
I mean, they're going to eat them anyways, but yeah, bonita, they're definitely, and they're very oily.
Yeah, you don't keep bonita to eat also.
I wish you did because you catch them a lot, and so you don't want to put up that fight. But if you think about it, like even the catch and release, is catch and release worse or what? Because you're trying to catch it, and you're fatiguing the hell out of that fish, bringing it to the boat, and then letting it go. Like that's why I don't love going. Like I never target sailfish, like because it's just like I don't want to go out there, grab it, and throw it back, and just.
It's
and plus
amazing.
I want to eat it.
It's amazing.
You like
how-
catching sailfish?
I've only caught one, and it was the most amazing experience ever.
I always target sailfish when I'm out there.
Absolutely.
And I obviously always let them go.
Catch and
Nobody
release.
keeps them.
Yeah.
You can legally keep them. I
You
think it's
can,
horrible
but
when
what
I
are
see
you
guys
gonna
keep
do
them.
with that?
Yeah.
You can
You're
smoke
gonna
it.
stuff it.
They don't
Go
taste-
buy
They don't
one.
even taste good. No.
You know what? No, seriously, you gonna taxidermy it? I mean, come on.
I don't think that people do that anymore.
Oh, they do that.
They take pictures of it. Nobody stuffs fish anymore.
Go down to Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah,
And check out the taxidermy warehouse that they have.
Yeah, but they just do that for pictures. You don't do that. They don't do that anymore. Can you look that up real quick?
Can you look that up, please?
Taxidermy.
That would be great. That'd be great if they didn't. That'd be great.
What is What's the best? What's your? Do you have a good fishing story?
I don't. The sailfish that I caught was amazing, but in regards to sharks, I was out in a tournament maybe 6 months ago, and we just could not get rid of these 3 sharks. They were 6-7 foot bulls, about 20 yards behind the boat, and every time we would drop in a piece of bait and start trolling, it would come. And you would think you caught the fish of your life, and you'd have to literally chase the shark with your boat because it's pulling you. So we lost a lot of lines, but it's amazing to see these beasts behind you,
it is.
just like looking at you like,
And they're
drop something.
They're massively
Drop
round
something.
and girthy. Did you find anything?
What was the main question you had?
Oh,
Do they still do taxidermy?
Oh yeah, they still do. All you need is a picture now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like, you
so they're
don't
not
stuff
actually
the fish.
stuffing the fish anymore.
No.
No,
Okay.
it's kind of gross.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Good
Good to know.
Here's
We do have a chance, folks.
I do have It's probably my favorite fish story of all time. I'm going to save a lot of the extracurricular details. But we were out in the Gulf fishing. Here's the thing. I get seasick a lot. I did take a bonine the night before and the morning of, and it was like 3 to 5, like a consistent 3 to 5. Like easily I should have thrown up. I was amazing. Like there was other guys that fish all the time. They're throwing up. And this is the one time I felt fine. Crushing fish. And like it was like the last time. It was like everybody's like, lines up. This is it. I was like, let me just put one more out there. Just did the infamous one last thing. Drilling it in, and all of a sudden, just took off. And this was not like we were catching some groupers, snapper, etc.
Nice.
And so I was like, fighting it. And they were like, it's either a shark or a cobia. So it came up to the surface. They're like, that's definitely a cobia. Went like 3 times to the boat and back. And so these guys were kind of like, we need to get back in. It was getting late. And so I was like, guys, but I have a big cobia on. And so I'm bringing it in out of nowhere. The guy, like right here where I am, I'm PJ, and this guy comes up and he's like, move, pushes me away, pulls out a gun, shoots it right in the head, bam, done. And then they gaff it. And I don't have guns or anything like that, and I'm not around a lot of guns. And I was like, oh my God, what happened? And they're like, we were going to be here for another 30 minutes if we didn't just shoot in the head. I'm like, oh my God.
That's awesome.
Oh my God. Never
crazy.
found the bullet.
So he's scotch free.
But
right?
I guess you could say, is that the humane way to do it? I don't know. I mean,
Stop
he's done.
torturing the fish.
He was done. I mean, he just stoned him. Done.
Wow, that's crazy.
I don't know if you're allowed to do that.
I don't think you are.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what do you?
I didn't shoot him.
What do you think about hunting? I mean, if you're killing fish in the ocean, do you think you should be able to kill fish on land or kill animals on land?
I mean, I'm not for outlawing it. I don't think you'll ever outlaw it here in the United States, and I'm not sure I'm for outlawing it. But for me personally, like I just can't shoot like a deer.
So now, PJ, I want your opinion on this as well. But like, so how do you decipher that, right? So you're willing to kill a fish, but you're not willing to kill a deer. Is it because the deer looks so cute when it's in its headlights, or?
I would say that for me, like now with kids, I spend a lot of time around like farm animals, and so like, especially cows. That's why I won't eat beef a lot anymore. With fish, I guess and I don't have any science to back this up at all right now. And I know that they could probably feel pain. I mean, they must be able to feel pain. But if you look at something that's closer to us, similar to us, let's say like a deer or like a cow or something, that you can literally look in its eyes and you can feel something. It's just, I don't know if I could do it. It's just
what
not
do you
for
think?
me.
So I'm a huge hunting person. I fish all the time, and people often forget that it's such a big industry, those kind of things. And there are areas that do get overpopulated. Like I live in New Jersey. I don't know, in New York. There's a huge deer problem.
Oh,
But
yeah.
well, hold on a second.
There is.
Yeah.
What is a deer problem? Is it a deer problem or a people problem?
I mean, my father coming home late night from working in New York, I think it was a Sawmill River Parkway. A deer popped out of nowhere, totaled his car.
Well, but let's and again, I'm glad your dad's fine.
Exactly.
Is it a people problem though, or a deer problem?
Well, listen, it's certainly us encroaching on their natural habitat. But at the end of the day, I don't see us going backwards. So
that is true. But it's not like there's a bear problem where the bears are running around like attacking people. They just seem to kind of just jump out in front of cars.
No, yeah.
I don't know. I think that we do use that kind of like there's an overpopulation. Maybe we're a little bit too loose with it, just to kind of so we can go out and kill.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I totally am all for like the being attentive to the conservation status of whatever species I'm targeting. So if it's endangered,
Do you try and shoot them in the head?
I've never shot guns.
Oh, I thought you're not a hunter.
I don't hunt. I'm just saying for people that do.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you shoot deer in the head if you go to shoot them?
I think the way that you're supposed to do it.
We're all real manly men here. Huh?
No, I think the way you're supposed to do it is cause the least amount of suffering for whatever you're trying to kill.
Shoot in the head.
If you can, you can. But sometimes you can't. But when you get up there, you need
Like
to do the right
spearfishing,
thing, which is probably even harder.
Spearfishing is go for the brain.
How is that different? It's amazing. It's just to me, it's no different.
I know.
But that's irrelevant. Twitter.
Okay.
I think we talked about this. 140 to 280 characters. I can't wait to see what Trump says.
Did he get it yet? Because that's the big thing because not everybody gets to. They're testing it with a bunch of people.
It's not widespread. The rumor is they're actually going to shrink him down to 70, though.
Stop
They
it.
are not gonna do
Who
that.
says this?
This is
What do you read? You need to stop.
Liberal News Daily.
.com.
Go
.org.
pick that up from GoDaddy.
Yeah. Not.
Yeah. I'm active on Twitter.
How often do you tweet?
A couple times a day, probably.
And what do you tweet about?
Like last night, I thought I had a pretty good tweet, which was
I gotta start following.
which was
you.
this. Me. Walk with me here. Basically, I put this in a tweet. Gina was in the laundry room, and I was like, "Hey, come in here and let's just chat. Kids are in the bed. And again, I put this down to 140. She's like, "I'm in the laundry room doing laundry," and I was like, "I'm just trying to be the perfect husband." And she was like, "Well, come do laundry then."
So you tweeted your wife?
No, I tweeted our discussion, our conversation.
Did she like that?
She's not on there, so yeah. But it's but anyways, I'm pretty active on Twitter, and it's really annoying. Like a lot of people are making a big deal, like, how do I get the 280, and why didn't I get the 280? And it's
So
like,
this isn't going to be widespread. This is like a test.
They're
Is this
test-
what this is,
is a
BJ?
test for a select group. Pretty much everyone's like has a certified account.
Yeah, it's
Blue check
for all the
mark,
blue
yeah.
check marks.
Yeah.
I need to get one of them.
You got to get verified,
Yeah,
like Bobo.
yeah. But yeah, that's it for Twitter.
Maybe I should get on Twitter.
It's really good for news.
Yeah.
It is really good for
Yeah.
news. And I follow people from all across the board so I can get both sides of the story. Yeah. So that. What else?
Okay.
Anything else?
I was trying to add in there. I think Twitter is like pretty much the future of media, and I just wish they could find a way to become a little more profitable.
So
you know?
let's talk about that, right? So
Yeah.
how this is what's amazing to me, and this is why Zuckerberg is amazing to me. I mean, Facebook, everybody uses it, right?
Right.
They go public, and then
Right.
they go, "Oh my God, this is awesome! Everybody uses it, but like we can't pay any mortgages or do anything with this because we don't make any money." And then he's like, "Don't worry, just give me like 6 to 8 months, and I'm going to create the largest advertising platform ever known to man. Self-serve, crushed it. Facebook is what it is." You see the same thing with Snapchat, which I picked up a bunch of shares of Snapchat before they did their last quarter's earnings because I do believe they are doing the same thing as Facebook. And they will ultimately, as they are now, programmatically adding their self-serve platform 6, 10, 12 months from now. I think they're
Do
going
you
to
use that product?
I don't use it.
Okay.
My wife uses it very constantly, sending nudies to other people and things like this. You know how it is. That's what we talked about yesterday. So, but with Twitter, everybody uses Twitter. How can they make money?
Right.
How can they make money?
It's
Literally,
just-
how
well-
can they do it?
The
Advertising has got to be.
but it's hard.
But
like,
it's different.
It is
it's
different.
not like, a platform you're going and perusing pictures and doing these things. You're literally just on it, spouting out thoughts, reading thoughts. Do you think that if they charged $1 a month to every user, people would pay it?
No, absolutely not.
This is mind-blowing. $12 a year.
I think they would.
You think they would?
I think you'd get rid of like a bunch of trolls. I think that you would get rid of a lot of
Certainly
people.
the fake accounts, right?
But you say $1 a month?
$1 a month,
Yeah.
$12 a year.
I think people would do it.
People would still use it, but it would. I think a lot of people would hop on
Right.
Facebook.
But here's the thing: is
Right.
like but everybody always brings that up, whether it was Facebook or whatever it is, of charging like something small, like $1 a
Yeah.
month. But nobody's ever tried it.
No,
Like-
because
like taking a free service like that and turned it into.
Yeah, well, if you look at what Facebook did, I mean, if they weren't able to successfully create their advertising platform, I think that would have been their next and only option, right, to stay afloat. is
And I
charge a
think
membership fee.
one of the problems.
All right.
Oh yeah, live.
Amazon.
One of the things I think that's is a problem with Twitter though too is it takes a learning curve to learn it too, right? So with Facebook, it's like, oh, there's Aunt Deb's little kid, right? Oh, that's cute. Let me like it. With Twitter, you kind of also have to understand the language and the lingo and learn it. That it makes it a little bit tough from an advertising standpoint to really kind of prey on those users. So it's interesting. It's interesting. Supreme tiebreaker. What happened? Nothing. I'm just looking at the top. You have Fox News. Huh?
Yeah, I'm just I like to get a plethora of opinion.
Steven just made us aware that today is National
Wow.
Drink Beer Day. I'll celebrate.
Yeah. No kidding.
I'll celebrate.
No kidding. What's your favorite beer?
My go-to right now is the Due South Category 3
You're an IPA guy.
IPA.
Yeah.
But like
What do you think about this craft beer stuff?
I love it.
You love it too.
100% IPA, like
It's
the
too
bitterness.
much.
Oh,
It's
you
too
don't
much.
like
Too
it?
many choices. Bud Light, Miller Light,
no,
Budweiser.
no,
You know what I mean?
It's all
Keep it
shit
just
beer.
like that.
It tastes like water.
Yingling. whatever it may
Get
be.
off my lawn, right?
Yeah, no, I don't drink any of those either, though. What about you?
Yeah, my favorite beer, well, especially down here, is Due South.
Yeah.
Due South. Okay, so you guys like the breweries. Support the local
I will
breweries.
tell
I
you,
like that.
on a good hot day though, the last thing I want is an IPA. The other day you sent me a picture. It was of
Modelo. Oof.
When it's hot, let's say you've been working outside or
Oh, yeah.
whatever, and you could crush them.
Crush a Modelo.
Just crush it, and it tastes so good.
Yeah, I do the Corona. I do the Modelo. Obviously, I'm impartial on the wall, so I still drink the beer. But
Impartial on the wall.
the Mexican border wall.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Over my head.
Yeah, just. But I drink Stella. I find myself loving Stella over the long term.
Ugh.
Really? Wow.
Anything out of a green bottle, I think, just tastes like grass and shit.
Okay, well, it's natural
Natural.
because it's green, right? Isn't that how that works? Climate change.
Yeah, thanks for that, Steve. Steve, what's your favorite beer right
Hey, what do
now?
you like?
Ooh. I'll go with Hop Gun.
Hop Gun?
I think I'm still on Hop Gun.
Awesome. Cool. It's from
Wasn't
the
very
Funky
convincing, was
Funky
it?
Buddha Hop
Yeah,
Gun.
yeah, that's right. Cool bottle.
Yeah, I love it.
I can appreciate that
Love the label.
all day. But National Beer Drinking Day. What are you supposed to do? Just drink a beer? Doesn't everybody drink beer every day?
Every day is yeah. What do people do?
What do you guys do on like Thursdays or Fridays?
Nope,
Okay,
we're the only
all
ones. All right.
Maybe we should see somebody.
Anyways, awesome. Well, if you guys want to get a free bag of coffee, email us at podcast@thealternativedaily.com. We'll give away 5 bags. We'll put a link in there below. Do whatever. You know it. But yeah, you raise your hand. You know what?
No.
Sorry.
You raise your hand?
Anything else? I think this is a good one.
Yeah, I don't know. Just a good day, good Thursday.
Good Thursday.
You know,
I don't think that you're off tomorrow.
tomorrow's an off day for me.
And
luckily,
we'll have a fill-in tomorrow.
We'll reconfig.
Yeah. Big stuff happening to you for some other projects that are happening next week. Really excited about
really
that.
exciting stuff going on right now.
Can we talk about pants? Yet,
We
or no?
we can. You know what? We
We
can
could tease it. Tease it. They're beautiful.
Jinxies. Yeah, we got in some beautiful yoga pants for the company Coconut Threads.
Yeah, started a new company that is just basically
Women's apparel.
super affordable yoga pants.
That's what it's all about.
Brianna's wearing them right now.
Yeah, beautiful. And
I told you, I actually went to Carmine's Market the other day, and I saw a lady that looked similar to that. That was wearing pants similar to that, and had the little logo on the back. And I was like, I chased her into the market,
that's so weird.
all the way up to the milk thing, and I was like, and I looked down, and it was like a Lululemon. I was like, oh, those aren't ours, because we sold out within 2 hours. of
yeah,
our
we have
initial batch.
beautiful pants. We just replenished.
CoconutThreads.com.
CoconutThreads.com. We're going to.
We'll do some giveaways next week.
Potentially, we can do some giveaways. Yeah, of course, we'll do some giveaways. But checking them out. Pants are great.
Where can people find you, Matt?
People can find me here and at Gmail. I guess I'm gonna have to get on Twitter because you end the show so beautifully with find me at Jake's at Surfs,
Yeah.
and IG, and I'm just like, so maybe I should get
You should.
get a Twitter account up and running.
Yeah, and then you can just spew all of your
And then I
conservative
just be able
stuff
to-
on there. Yeah.
See, that's the thing, though. See, I don't. That's one of the things.
You'd
why-
fit right in.
That's why I'm not on Facebook, is because I just can't stomach to hear people's opinions.
Oh,
it's
I
like
that's all Twitter is.
I don't care.
Just follow me. I'll
about
fill up your
opinion.
timeline.
Right.
Like, why do I have to listen to somebody else's opinion? I don't make them listen to my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For me, I'm just
Yeah,
such a,
absolutely.
I was gonna say I'm just such a fan of teams.
thank
and
you.
everything
You a
that-
fan of us?
That's why I need. Well, and yeah,
Thanks,
of
PJ.
course. That's the biggest part of it. Is following. It's
Yeah.
the easiest way to follow all your teams.
Yeah.
And The Rock,
well, DJ.
our next president.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to happen. I called it. I called it after Donald Trump won, before anybody said it, that he was going to be the next president, because he's the only one that could beat him. He's the only one that
But
could beat him.
But he can't beat him,
He
right?
can.
Oh my God, really?
Because
Where do we move to? Like, what country do we
We were
move
just
to?
talking about Facebook Zuckerberg. A lot of people think he's gonna run.
I don't think
You know, all right.
I don't think he could.
No?
Why?
I think because he's
Too influential.
too liberal.
He would have to step
He's
back.
Too liberal.
Too liberal. But
Too
isn't that
liberal.
what people want?
I'd like for that to be what people want.
I
But it's
think
not
that's
true.
what people want.
But here's The Rock is a unifier, and I think that's what the country needs. But
What
also,
has he done to unify? I'm not.
I'm going to answer that.
I'm not being.
I'm going to answer
I'm just
that.
more curious
Okay?
personally. Yeah.
Have
that's
you
all.
ever been to a WWE show?
If you smell what the Rock's cooking, yeah, Monday Night
have
Raw.
you been to one?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Did you hear the people just like chanting in unison his name? So check this out. We need in order to win the election? You need to win red states, right? This guy sells out crowds when he is with the WWE. He sells out crowds in Wyoming, in Michigan, in Florida, in Georgia. And all you have to do is pick off a small percentage of some of those conservative states who just love the guy. He can easily win. He can literally bring conservatives and Democrats.
Who would he hire to run the country after he won?
Steve Bannon.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Excellent. So you can find me and all of my political diatribe at Jake Surfs on Twitter. You can find Matt at Duffy's down the road.
2 for 1s. Or Applebee's.
And if you're liking all the stuff that we're posting on the website, a lot of it has to do with PJ too. So excellent. Guys, anything else? Brianna, for Patricia, for Steven, and for Matt. Thanks for checking out the Jake Carney Show, and I'll be around tomorrow.
Cool, man.
All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Thanks.